Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Monday, the 25th of September. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Convicted leader of the Wandon gang, Andre Blackman Brian, this morning quoted Bible scriptures from Psalms and Isaiah as he proclaimed his innocence and argued that the two ex-gangsters who testified against him lied.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18. Come now.
Sorry, Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come now. Let us reason together, say the Lord. We read the Bible a lot. When you read it, you say, it's an experience.
Time is now, the truth shall be known, said Brian, who was convicted of being the leader of a criminal organization and the 7 counts of facilitating the commission of a serious offense by a criminal organization. Brian insisted on speaking on his behalf, despite objection from his lawyer, Brian McFarlane.
So you wish to speak on your behalf? Okay. And you insist on speaking on your behalf? Okay, well, that's what you have to say then.
I like to say what I give on the report.
No, we're talking about the whole report now, the entire report. Have you read it?
Chief, I leave it in your hands.
No. This is why, again, you need the attorney because it's a process.
I understand the process.
Because it is clear that you are not fully aware of what the process is and what is involved. So I am at a loss as to why you are insisting on pursuing this when it is clear that you do not know what you're about.
Maybe to the eyes.
I beg your pardon?
Maybe to the eyes.
No, well, I don't know about the eyes. I'm talking about what is going on here now. Have you seen the report of the police, the antecedent report of the police? Have you read it?
No, you'd like me to read it to know what I'm doing.
Well, that would be a good starting point.
What I have to say?
Okay. Concerning the sentencing.
I don't really care about the sentencing.
No, well, that is the point that we are at now. This is about the sentencing. So it is not a speech.
The pictures that the 2 witnesses painted is a blunt lie, he said. Brian, along with the quoting scriptures, also highlighted Jamaica's motto, noting that you cannot use one with people.
The motto, out of many one people. Cannot use one with people. First, I cannot use one with people. I'm reading the motto every day. People. One and people. Cannot use one and people. Just be aware. People say anything loosely, but time spent.
Brian, who described himself as being conscious despite his academic deficiencies, stressed that people can say anything loosely.
I didn't get any subject at school. I don't have one. But I understand oneness, consciousness.
Meanwhile, McFarlane, in his plea mitigation, asked that the court order that his client's sentences run concurrent and not consecutive. The charge of leadership of a criminal organization attracts a maximum sentence of 30 years, while membership and facilitating both have a maximum of 20 years. The judge also has the power under the anti-gang legislation to order at least 2 consecutive sentences. The lawyer also asked the judge, in passing the sentence on the facilitating offense, to rule in a manner that it does not exceed 30 years. McFarlane further urged the court to bear in mind that his client has no previous conviction and that he strongly maintains his innocence. Additionally, he asked that his client be credited for the 5.5 years that he has already spent in custody.
I move straight to that section that says previous conviction, in which it indicates he has no previous conviction recorded against his name, and I also have been provided with a court notification of the fact that there is no recorded conviction. So in relation to the previous good character of Mr. Bryan, I urge that strongly as a mitigating factor. My difficulties, however, my lord, in terms of mitigating factors, arise in relation to the areas of the offender's capacity for reform, as well as expressions of remorse by the offender.
In the same vein, the lawyer pointing to Bryan's community report noted that it was mixed, as some persons want him to remain in prison while others are not opposed to him returning to the community if he is reformed. The police are maintaining a significant presence in Grand Spence, St. Andrew, which was the scene of a deadly shooting on Sunday afternoon. 3 people were shot by men traveling in a Toyota Axio motorcar. The 2 victims who died at the scene have been identified as 45-year-old Shane Brooks and Gawain Harvey. The 3rd victim was rushed to hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Reports are that minutes after 3, a group of armed men entered a property which is a work site and shot the victims. The gunmen then exited the property on Shortwood Lane where they escaped in a waiting motorcar. A police team on patrol in the area at the time pursued the men and a chase ensued, which culminated in the vehicle being intercepted in the St. Andrew Central Division. 4 of the suspects were nabbed and an illegal gun seized. More from head of the Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay.
We understand that police were in the area, so they intercepted the getaway vehicle, and there was an exchange of gunfire between the police and the gunmen. They gave chase, and the gunmen's vehicle crashed, and they abandoned the vehicle and ended up in another car that was also intercepted. So currently they have 3 men in custody that they suspect are the ones that are linked to the shooting. There's a 4th person that was held in the vicinity and illegal firearm.
SSP Lindsay says the police are theorizing that the men who were killed were not the target.
I move straight to that section that says previous conviction, in which it indicates he has no previous conviction recorded against his name, and I also have been provided with a court notification of the fact that there is no recorded conviction. So in relation to the previous good character of Mr. Bryan, I urge that strongly as a mitigating factor. My difficulties, however, my lord, in terms of mitigating factors, arise in relation to the areas of the offender's capacity for reform, as well as expressions of remorse by the offender.
A 27-year-old man is in police custody concerning Saturday's alleged rape and the fatal stabbing of 80-year-old Talia Thompson, a grade 4 student of Discovery Bay Primary and Infant School in St. Anne. This suspect, believed to be a neighbor and a family friend, reportedly attempted to take his own life. The incident reportedly happened sometime after 3 p.m. Reports suggest that the man lured the child to his house where he allegedly raped her and then stabbed her several times in her upper body. After the act, the man reportedly attempted to kill himself. Neighbors reported hearing explosions and an alert was made before the scene was discovered. 4 locally manufactured firearms were seized by the police. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, has commenced a probe into the fatal shooting of a man at a bar in Whithorn, Westmoreland on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified as Randall Reed, unemployed, and is also of the Whithorn community. Reports are that about 8:40 p.m. on Sunday, the off-duty police officer was a patron at a bar when he noticed Reed pulling a firearm from his waistband. The police officer reportedly called out to Reed, who pointed a weapon at him, resulting in the officer opening fire and hitting him. A Ruger 9mm semi-automatic pistol fitted with a magazine containing 8 live rounds was taken from him. Reed was transported to the Savannah Lamar Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The trial of 3 cops charged in relation to the 2014 death of Mario Dean has been postponed until next year. The trial was scheduled to begin in the St. James Circuit Court on Monday, but proceedings were cancelled due to a lack of jurors. Police Corporal Elaine Stewart, along with Constables Juliana Clevan and Marlon Grant, were arrested and charged with manslaughter, misconduct in a public office, and perverting the course of justice in relation to Dean's death. Due to the challenges with the jurors, High Court Justice Judith Pusey rescheduled the trial for February 27, 2024 and extended the cops' bail. Detectives from the St. Catherine North Police Division are searching for a man who shot and killed a woman and injured a man on Saturday. Reports are that about 2:30 p.m., the woman was inside a motorcar traveling from a funeral at Meadows Memorial Gardens in St. Catherine. Upon reaching a section of a road in the Red Pond area, a man stepped into the road and fired upon the vehicle. Checks revealed that the woman suffered gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. She was pronounced dead at hospital, while the man was treated for gunshot injuries and released. An official motive has not yet been established. A man was bludgeoned to death and his girlfriend injured, reportedly by his cousin, who is believed to be of unsound mind. The incident happened in Burnt, Savannah, Westmoreland on Monday morning. The deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Kenton Salmon, a shopkeeper from the community. Reports are that about 7:30 a.m., Salmon was attacked by his cousin, who used an iron to inflict wounds to his head. His girlfriend, who was also injured, was taken to hospital and is undergoing treatment. Investigations are ongoing. At least 2 houses were damaged by landslides and several roads were rendered impassable due to torrential rainfall in Portland. At the same time, flooded roads have resulted in the suspension of classes at several schools, including Titchfield High, Norwich Primary, Port Antonio Primary, Portland High, and Port Antonio High Schools. The heavy downpour, which started shortly after 11:30 on Sunday, continued for more than 8 hours, causing damage to the already fragile road network in sections of the parish. The St. James Parish Court has scheduled November 9 as the next court date for Ronaldo Ricketts, the St. James man who has been charged with murder in relation to the killing of 4 homeless people across Montego Bay, following the matter's first court mention last Wednesday. Presiding Parish Judge Sasha Marie Ashley set the new date to coincide with the next scheduled return date for Ricketts, who was not present on Wednesday, as he will be brought back to court at that time in relation to other charges. The accused man, who is also charged with forcible abduction and attempted rape, was subjected to a previous order from the court on September 13 that he should undergo a psychiatric evaluation at the St. Catherine Adult Remand Center. Concerning the murder charges, the court was told on Wednesday that several items are outstanding from the prosecution's case file, including post-mortem reports, a forensic analysis of the knife allegedly used in the killings, closed-circuit television footage, and a question and answer document. It was also disclosed that there are 2 different investigators in the matter, both of whom were absent from court. The Old Harbour Police in St. Catherine are searching for 2 suspects who reportedly shot and killed a taxi operator on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as 51-year-old Lambert Simpson of Lennonville Road in Old Harbour. It is reported that Simpson had just driven home his Toyota Probox motorcar about 10:30 p.m. when he was pounced upon by men who brandished guns and shot him repeatedly. His attackers then stole his vehicle, which was later found abandoned nearby. The police were summoned and Simpson was found in his yard with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was subsequently rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.